What I've got for you today is a professional match of StarCraft 2 that's considered an absolute classic. It's time for a Terran versus Zerg, where we find ourselves on the map inside and out. Spotting right here in the top right-hand corner, playing with the red Zerg drones, we have a Reynor. And his opponent in the opposite corner with the blue SCVs, we are looking at Clem's main command center. So Clem versus Reynor, right here on Inside and Out. These two have faced off against each other dozens and dozens and dozens of times. They came up right around the same time. They managed to make it to the top level right around the same time as well. And yeah, because of that, they are very familiar with one another. And I must have casted them at least 24 times, probably more. Anyways, if you look at the archives on my YouTube channel, you can find out about these guys facing off against each other at the very least once a month or so. Anyhow, what do we have? Clem starting off this particular match with a double proxy barracks. He already has a refinery at home, so he's going to start harvesting gas. And judging here by the positioning of those barracks, that can only mean one thing. This man wants to go for a bunch of Reapers. Overlord is going straight across the map, so Reynor did not see much. He doesn't know exactly what he's going up against right now, but very soon he will fly that Overlord into the natural expansion of the Terran, and I think that will probably tell him, well, that there's a whole lot of nothing, which likely means that those structures are built on the other side of the map. SCV, gonna do a little bit of scouting. Reynor sees, okay, if he paid attention very closely, he must have noticed the angle at which that SCV came in. He did notice that, okay. Very nicely done. Yeah, 2 drones pulled away from the mineral line right away. I don't know exactly what Clem was up to there. Maybe he wanted to go for like a bunker or something along those lines. But I do believe that those Reapers are going to try and jump straight into the main base of the Zerg here in just a moment. Okay, so he still does not know what he's going up against. Ooh, actually, he started up the Spine Crawler before he saw the Reaper. So despite the fact that he didn't know exactly what he was going up against, I think the information that Overlord provided already told him enough of what he needed to know. 100 gas mined perfectly here for Reynor, so after pulling back the weakened workers, he decides to go for the Zergling speed research. Okay, 1 Zergling so far. This is, for obvious reasons, not worth it, right? He needs to get way more damage done than a couple of Zergling kills. There is likely going to be a factory at home here eventually too, so Clem will be able to transition, but so far the defense is stellar. Spinecrawler is now done. Oh my god. Yeah, there's a reason why we don't really see a lot of proxy barracks anymore at this level of play. At the very least in Zerg versus Terran. These top level Zergs are ridiculous. Did he lose a single worker? He only lost 3 Zerglings there. Well then. If that creep tumor gets spread in this direction, the spine crawler can move a little bit closer to this jump up location, and that would permanently shut it down. Zergling speed was also not skipped, so Reynor is going to finish that up in just a moment. Ooh, good control right there by Clem as well. But yeah, he needs to go home. Okay, he doesn't know exactly when link speed started, so he knows that he needs to be back by like 340 or so. Because that's usually the time at which link speed will finish up. Whew, okay. Yeah, so the double proxy Rex, it was very popular. But you kind of rely on the Zerg player butchering their own defense, if that makes any sense, right? You kind of rely on them making a mistake, and you can see that Reynor did that absolutely perfectly. He now knows exactly where those Reapers are located as well, which is awesome for him, because he can go for the 3rd hatchery right around the time as the 2nd command center finishes up. Excellent start right here for Reynor. Definitely not a game-winning start just yet, but if he wants to go for a follow-up push, there's certainly a lot of potential. If this was me playing, I would probably go for a roach cheese or something aggressive on the back of this, even though it might not be the ideal follow-up. Usually I've found whenever Terrans don't get the damage done in the early game that they're looking for, they will also not be as comfortable playing their follow-up. Anyhow, it's going to be a 1-1-1 here. So those 2 barracks have flown all the way back home. They'll probably go for some tech labs here in just a moment. It's going to be Hellions together with a medevac. Okay, so this is still a hit squad and a half, right? This is still an army that can deal damage. That creep spread needs to be a little bit further out if he wants to comfortably defend this, because this can still be an issue as soon as the 3rd base is up and running. You really need to cover as much of that terrain as possible. Okay. Baling Nest was made, by the way, so maybe Reynor does want to go for some aggression. Yeah, I think so. He's got a lot of Zerglings at home, but then also a lot of Zerglings on the other side of the map. Maybe, though, he wants to set up a surround instead. Maybe he's a little bit concerned for these guys morphing into Hellbats as well. Okay, that's a very fast Bailing Nest, actually, as a response to this. That's Spinecrawler. Oh, nice. Wrap around over here. Hellions go down. I guess they can pop, yeah, inside of that medevac. Good save there, but certainly, once again, excellent situation right here for Reynor. Almost like a Terran versus Terran sort of hit squad, right? This is something that we see quite a bit in TVT. Maybe the numbers are a little bit different, but yeah, against the super fast-moving Zerg army on creep, I just don't really see exactly what you're going to be able to achieve with an army like this. Anyhow, the follow-up right now is going to be Stimpec. Clem is transitioning towards a bio mid-game, so infantry-based mid-game, but it's going to be a while until he's really going to be able to lay down the law with a proper army on the other side of the map. Okay, Zerglings once again setting themselves up for a wraparound. This is something that Reynor does consistently in his games. Clem knows it, though. That Spinecrawler is fantastic. Yeah, look at that. It's basically by itself protecting this bridge and also this ramp right over here. What a legend. Makes you wonder why we don't normally see that. That's actually really good. Alright. 4th hatchery coming up right around the time as the Terran gets here. So yeah, that one will be cancelled. Finally, Clem gets a little bit of value. Okay. So inside of these medevacs are Marines and Widow Mines. Fair enough. Zerg decided to go for very fast Bailing speed, so as soon as Bailing speed is done, defending these pushes is going to be much easier, but it does mean that Zerg also delayed... Hero Spinecrawler, go! It means that they also delayed, there it is, the +1/+1 upgrades. So Clem is going to go for a singular upgrade over here. We will probably see 1/1 here in just a moment. There's the Evos. But this is a pretty scary army. Yeah. Stimpec is done. Bailing speed is only about halfway finished. Okay. Reynor trying to buy time, waiting for reinforcements. He's already droning. Are you kidding me? Okay, apparently he's feeling comfortable. He's like, yeah, nope, there's a big army, but I'll make workers right now. Don't recommend giving that a try in your own games, but hey. There are Zerglings on the other side. I was gonna say, are we gonna do anything with those? A little bit of a dropship as well, heading to, or like a group of dropships rather, heading it over towards the top left-hand corner. I love casting these two, man. Like, this game is... like, broad strokes, right? It's very similar. Excellent split right there from the Zerg. It's relatively similar, at least, to... look at the hero spine! to a regular game of Zerg versus Terran. But, the ways in which we got here are very different, and it's really hard. Like, I just want to emphasize how much harder it is to play a weird game like this, one that did not open up in a normal way, to then still hit all of your timings correctly. Like, if you've played 1,000 games of StarCraft 2, you'll know how hard it is to play a normal game, right? But to then throw all of your timings out of the window and be forced to play on feel mostly, like, obviously you can practice this sort of thing, right? Just by playing a lot of games. But it looks easier when these guys are doing it than it really is. It doesn't even look easy. But it really is incredibly complex. I've played so many games. This is where I struggle. Anyways. The Reaper medevac drop is actually dealing a lot of damage. I did not expect the Reapers to be able to put in this much work in the end. Alright, 7 queens have died. Reaper medevac drop may very well be the 2027 meta of StarCraft 2. These guys are a little bit ahead of themselves. Anyways, alright, Reynor. He does not enjoy playing against this. He's going for the Hydralisk Den. Honestly, this multitasking here from Clem has put him back in the driver's seat of this match. Yeah, I didn't really like the early game for him too much, but the follow-up here has been excellent. Widow Mine? Once again, these Widow Mines are putting in work. There's another one. Oh, good splits, though. Like, even though the splits aren't perfect, the fact that he's splitting there at all is kind of ridiculous. You have about half a second to get your units to safety. And obviously Terran can also retarget with those units, so they're continuously doing that. Anyways, Clem pushing over here once again, right? Continuously in the same spot, because it means that Zerg can't spread creep over here. So he's trying to create a chokehold on that hatchery in the top left. Might not be a bad idea indeed to grab that one, so there is a backup plan in case this hatchery does fall. Hydras are coming out. 1-1 is finished up right now as well. But Hydras without upgrades are not really going to help out that much yet against these Widow Mines. So Hydras are cool. Oh, the targeting. Hydras are cool because they can outrange Widow Mines, which is super helpful, but for obvious reasons, they would actually need to have their ranged upgrade, because otherwise they can't outrange them. They still put in a lot of supplemental damage, though, at this point. Look at them dancing back and forth. In the meantime, Terran has planted down a 4th command center. 2nd factory is just about to finish up as well. So he's gonna double down on, well, I'm assuming at least on the Widow Mine production. He'll probably go for drilling claws as well in just a moment. I think we need a creep tumor in this position, Reynor. Because without it, you're gonna fall behind. +2 coming up as well. Still no upgrades on the Hydras. I've got a feeling it's just a matter of time until this hatchery falls. Am I crazy? Like, Reynor apparently thinks he can hold it, but I don't think I agree. Yeah, okay, this back and forth is fantastic. For the Terran player, that is. Maybe not so much for the Zerg. Anyways, the hatchery is abandoned. Drones are moving on over towards their new home. That secondary 4th base. Clem is scary, man. When he's on point, like he seems to be over here. Yeah, he's incredibly good. Like that early game, right? It didn't even go poorly for Clem because he played it poorly. It went poorly because Reynor played it excellently. It's not like Clem made any obvious errors there, right? Anyhow, let's see. So, time to pick up the pace. Multitasking towards the right side of the map as well. Well, I guess it's also the red side of the map. Okay. Not enough units inside of that plane. Medevac gets out of there with red HP, but at the very least it got out of there. He's also still scanning up north, and it'll allow him to prevent some more of that creep spreading on over in this direction. Reynor is now re-droning that base in the top left. Liberator joining in as well to try and stress that multitasking a little bit more. There's the hatchery, and it does get picked off. Okay. Reynor mispositioned there for just a second. Immediately gets punished for it. Still, not as big of a deal anymore at this point, I don't think. So there's a ranged upgrade, by the way. Grooved Spines that allows the Hydras to outrange those Widow Mines. Yeah, like, if he would have lost that base in the top left-hand corner right away, I think it would have been a massive problem. But since he bought himself a lot of time dancing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, he got that hatchery up over here. He lost a little bit of mining time transferring the workers on over towards a new mineral field, but not really that big of a deal. And look at this. Reynor right now setting up a massive surround, trying to come in from as many angles as possible. Clem actually unsieges the tank, which is like the last thing that you need at this point. All right, he gets smashed back. Beautiful engagement right there by Reynor. Very nicely done. Coming in from all of those paths. And now suddenly it's Clem who's on the run. I think he should be on the run anyways. He doesn't agree. He's like, nope, I'll target fire down the Banelinks. Watch me do it. Concussive shells on a Banelink. Sure, why not? He's actually sniping so many Banelinks. On his way home, he just sniped like, what, 8 Banelinks there? That's significant. These units are not cheap. Terran, though, apparently feeling comfortable enough to go for the additional command centers. He did indeed add on more Widow Mines, but now he's transitioning towards siege tanks instead. Probably feeling the pressure and realizing the Hydra count. Obviously, you can always morph these Hydras as well into lurkers if you want to at the later stages of this match. Or in the later stages of this match. Anyhow, there is a infestation pit coming up, so I think that Reynor will go for that Hive transition in just a moment. Trying to go for one of his classical Zergling run-bys, but not gonna happen against Clem. Ghost Academy transition. Every Terran player's favorite unit. Command centers and ghosts. Is there anything better? No, the ghosts obviously are amazing, but honestly against the Hydra Baneling army, I don't think you want to be going for that transition towards ghosts. They're really good if you're playing against, like maybe you want to have some of them in case there are a bunch of lurkers out all of a sudden. They're really good against lurkers and vipers, infestors, brute lords, ultralisks, those sorts of armies. But against this army, I don't think you want to be going into... I don't think you want to be going into those ghosts just yet. But having the transition ready to go might not be a bad call. Okay, once again, Reynor trying to set up a surround. Yeah, now he's coming in from 2 angles. That is significantly better. Siege tanks immediately end up getting surrounded. Hydra's also in a concave, right? That allows them to just get so much more surface area rather than derping into one another. Reynor takes another stellar engagement. Just optimizing the positioning of his army is huge. If that fight would have all come in from one angle, like all from this ramp, for example, and then around the corner, the Hydras would have derped out, and then the Zerglings and Banelings probably got picked off by the siege tanks. Anyways, Reynor's still venturing off creep. He doesn't really need to be here. He's now got a solid advantage in this game, but it's definitely not over yet. Clem has got a good eco. That Zergling is not blocking anything. It's a bit of a strange little fight here, yeah. Planetary coming up in the bottom right-hand corner. Additional Zerglings, though, upon spotting this, have been sent on over in this direction, too. Still a very large Zerg force. This army over here is looking a little... yeah, a little risky. I mean, he's got the sensor tower, so I guess he can see the timing at which those Zerglings start knocking at his front door. Hive, though, coming up. Lurker Den is... well, actually, Hive is done. Lurker Den is coming up right now, and the Vipers are also building. A lot of siege tanks. Reynor sees them, decides to back off. +3/+3, I guess, in just a moment. He did decide to go for +1 missile first. The Vipers, though, are an amazing addition, and despite the fact that I don't think Clem has seen anything that really... yeah, signifies Hive tech to him. He's making that assumption at the very least that those units are going to be coming out in just a moment. And he will have the Ghosts done just in time. So Ghosts have Snipe, but they also have EMP. And EMP allows them to remove energy out of units that are affected by it. So spellcasters from the Zerg are the Queens, the Infestors, and then also the Vipers. So they're going to be fantastic against the Vipers. They're going to be excellent as well against the Lurkers. But obviously they do need to be microed correctly as well. And the scary part here for the Terran is that you never really know if this is just going to be Hydra Bane, right? Anyways, here we go. Vipers using their blinding clouds, reducing the range of those siege tanks to just 1. Not enough, though, to really bite through that because there weren't enough links back over or left over there. At the same point, though, there's a fight happening here at the 3 o'clock position. That hatchery is running dangerously low, and I do believe that it will fall here in the end. Zerglings, Banelings, Hydras coming on over from every angle. Yeah, Banelings rolling into siege tanks, not very cost efficient. These tanks over here are in a really good spot. 22 kills on that bad boy right over there. Push over on the left side of the map too. These guys now accidentally becoming neighbors, and Clem wants none of that. Okay, I think we're gonna need those Vipers up here as well to go for like some abductions or something along those lines. Anyways, you can also just kill them. Ghosts, actually. This is a mistake. They have cloaking, though, so they're gonna be able to get on out of there just barely. New Overseer's coming right up. I guess he didn't have a lot of detection anymore, so he couldn't actually finish that. Reynor now working on his own rocks, too, to try and once again allow him to set up better engagements in this section of the map. Generally speaking with Zerg, the more angles you can come in from, the better it is. It negates a lot of that splash damage, and it really allows you to get a wraparound and make it hard for those units to actually retreat. 11 Lurkers now, though. Out of nowhere. Nidus network also. Coming up right now for Reynor. There are a couple of very dangerous positions on this map for Lurkers. This is actually a pretty neat little engagement here, once again for the Zerg. There's a couple of different spots that I think are great for Lurkers. For example, right over here, right? Like, literally inside of the main base, on top of all of the production. Very annoying. However, secondly, this location over here, getting Lurkers on this low ground, super hard for Terrans to break. Because it's like, you know, it's their intersection, you know? There's no traffic lights and anything like that, so the Lurkers don't really care. Siege tank drop on top of one of the Nidus worms. Yeah, this one's not gonna happen, but... at the very least, it's an additional threat. At the same time, Zerg army moving forward over here. Really not that available. Yeah, not that much available, though, for the Zerg. Reynor is forced to back off. That was not the engagement he was hoping for. Look at the APMs here. Yeah, these guys are playing fast. Average actions per minute. 568 for the Zerg. 414 for Clem. Nidus Worm coming up in the back of the natural now. Changelings here pretending to be Marines, giving Reynor that vision that he needs to plot down those Nidus Worms. Terran is going to respond. There are lurkers inside of this network, so you gotta be very careful. Yeah, just a couple of them is already so annoying. This is one of those things that maybe not is the most it's not the most cost-efficient thing for the Zerg player to do, but it's incredibly APM intensive for the Terran player to defend against this. So this over here, for example, wouldn't have happened if there weren't lurkers inside of the natural. So, yeah, Clem right now busy dealing with these units. He will clean these up in a cost-efficient way, but he lost a pretty significant chunk of his army in the meantime in the middle of the map. Marine gets abducted. Screw that guy in particular. Clem, once again, has got himself back in this match. Feel like these guys have been up with their backs against the wall several times. But so far, no KO yet. That's really all that matters. Good snipes. Very nice snipes. Would you look at that? I'm a fan. Nukes are coming up. Nukes and Nidus Worms. You can sign me up, man. You can wake me up any hour of the day. I'll be casting Nukes versus Nidus Worms. My voice may be a little bit messed up at 3 in the morning, but I'll try my best. Man, the fact that there's a lot of other esports out there, right? I watch pretty much every esport out there. I've at least watched a little bit of it. Like, StarCraft is better, man. Like, I don't know why there's so many people watching Fortnite esports. I don't get it, okay? Maybe I'm just too old, but look at these guys. We're 22 minutes into what is the hardest game to play in 2022, in my opinion. Okay, maybe there's StarCraft 1, which might be a little bit trickier. There's some other games, too, that are really freaking hard. But these guys, man, 22 minutes in, we still don't know who's winning. Well, I was just talking about this position. Yeah, burrowed them right there. Dude, how are you going to break this? Oh, you know what? Nukes. Nukes would be amazing. Nuke would be a fantastic way to force these units to unsiege. Anyhow, in the meantime, there's a small ghost hit squad with a couple Marines and some leftover siege tanks that do make it back home. They took care of a hatchery in the top left. Don't forget about the nukes. Oh. Good snipes. I think nuke over here is really wonderful. Anyways, this is really tricky for the Terran to break. How in the world do you get in? Yeah, not like that. Not like that, you don't. Oh, no, 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 no! Well then. Reynor probably also thinking, okay, don't mind if I do. If you're gonna give me your ghost army, don't mind if I just walk my lurkers a little bit closer. That was an incredibly costly set of units that Clem just gave away. And you know what? Reynor was up with his back against the wall. I think right now he's once again leading. 400 actions per minute is not enough. It's a real problem, man. Beautiful game. Really, really nice. I don't think there's ever going to be a time in my life where I can't appreciate this level of gaming. It's so incredibly hard. Oh, Infestor coming up as well. One ghost trying to get out of the main. This is a fantastic match. So Clem still has mining. The main problem is that one of his bases is over here, and then the other one is in... what is this? Like the 9 o'clock position. He is incredibly split. Reynor, though, does have a pretty large army, but does he have enough to really break this? So I think if all the Terran units were in the right place, they could probably hold this. The problem is he's got units, scattered all over the map. Having a couple of those siege tanks on the left side would really make this easier. I see units just constantly rallied to their deaths here. And this is Clem starting to break. Starting to fall apart. Lurker over here as well, just being annoying. Just slowly working away at whatever he can. Forcing the Terran player to multitask. Making it difficult to mine this expansion over here as well is all that Reynor really needs. There is some mining still going on over here. Reynor, though, with 52 workers on one of his bases. Don't let his worker count deceive you at this point. He's finally, look at that. He's finally grabbed an advantage once again as far as the income goes. But it's nothing amazing. Okay, I think he wants to go deeper over here, yeah. He's got to try and commit. He wants to take out this expansion right here, right now. This Terran has been disconnected from his infrastructure in the bottom right for long enough. Planetary Fortress falls. A lot of ghosts still available. Clem cannot afford losing them again. You gotta pick up, dude. You gotta pick up and get on out of there. Ooh, it's so dangerous, but he does get him out. Alright, still 2 orbital commands. It's not bad. Reynor's broke, though. Reynor has got very little income. There's that base over here. Maybe he can try and mine from this expansion here in like a couple minutes from now, but at this point, his income is really not that great. Likewise, though, the Terran does also not have a lot of money. So he's got a couple mineral fields over here. I don't think that there's much of an opportunity here for Clem to continue mining, although he still has a couple small mineral fields here. Might be able to throw a couple mules down, mine out the last little bits. All right. A good lead right here for Reynor. But if he wants to fight this Terran, yeah, he's gonna have to fight it off creep. Okay, Blinding Cloud. Pretty scary. I think he's got enough. Yeah, I think he will have enough. Siege tanks are falling right now. Zergling's fully upgraded. Deals so much damage. This siege tank over here is the last backline right here of Clem. Looks like maybe this will stay alive for now. Couple of good snipes, though, are landing. But this SCV clump over here is not gonna live to tell the tale. Alright. So Reynor at this point is probably thinking, how long has that base in the bottom right been mining for? How much more money does he really have? It can't be much. Like, there are no other bases on this map. He cannot have a lot anymore. So he could slow down. I actually wouldn't mind it if Reynor just slowed down here for a bit. Obviously, though, it's Reynor. So there's a good chance he is not thinking that, and he's just gonna, oh my god, go for the kill just like that. Couple of the units did get saved. But yeah, that may have just put the nail in the coffin. Reynor moving forward, trying to get these things in the right place at the right time. He does not want to, he does not want to fight on top of a planetary fortress. That might just give the Terran player the edge that he's looking for. In the meantime, this expansion here at the 9 o'clock that the Terran was previously mining is now occupied by the swarm. 32 drones, 33, 34. There's just more and more drones trying to mine out these mineral fields as quickly as possible. Reynor playing this very slowly now, though. He does not want to take any chances, and I think this is indeed the right call. Strategically speaking, what exactly is the Terran going to do? So it comes down to these mineral fields right over here. So as long as Terran does not get to mine those, I think he'll probably be fine. There are no other mineral fields anymore on this map. Like, there's a couple that are running low, but this expansion here is really all he needs. So did he forget about the nuke, by the way? Or did he cancel that? He must have canceled it. Oh, actually, no. The Ghost Academy got killed. That's why. You need to have the Ghost Academy out. Reynor wants to go for, one more cheeky little move. One fungal to rule it all. Okay. Does get a Viper, and he does get an Infestor as well, but Clem right now, very desperate. Zerg army, though, moving forward. These are not particularly efficient trades for the Zerg, but I don't think it really matters. The last mining here for Terran. Except for these guys, okay? They're still hard at work, but there's like, what, 500 minerals? No, a little bit. Like, there's 700 minerals in total there. Actually, not terrible. It's just that I'm looking at these mineral fields. And they are looking mighty juicy. Clem is gonna need a miracle. I mean, this is literally his army. Does he have anything else? No, that's literally it. There's now creep tumors coming up on these expansions here in the bottom right. GG. After a half hour of back and forth, it's Reynor who obtains the victory, but that was an amazing game. If you enjoyed watching this, please take the 1 second that it takes to hit the like button. It really does help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.